Hello dear students, I am Dr. Madhuri Goswami, Associate Professor of English. This lesson is prepared for the students of BA, BCom, B.Sc Part 1, Subject General English. And this is the second part of the basic sentence patterns in English. In the first part of this lesson, you were introduced to the basic sentence patterns in English. And why should you know these basic sentence patterns? डियर स्टूडेंट्स, इस टॉपिक के फर्स्ट लेसन में 5 बेसिक सेंटेंस पैटर्न्स इंट्रोड्यूस करवाए गए थे. कुछ ग्रामेरियन के अकॉर्डिंग इन इंग्लिश देयर आर 7 बेसिक सेंटेंस पैटर्न्स एंड ऑल द सेंटेंसेस आर एक्सटेंडेड फॉर्म. और जो भी सेंटेंसेस हम देखते हैं, वेदर इट्स अ लॉन्गर और इट्स अ शॉर्ट सेंटेंस, they are in fact the extended form of these basic sentence patterns. So, English में other grammar topics की study thoroughly करने के लिए you must know what are these basic sentence patterns. So, let's have a quick recap of the previous lesson. इस lesson के first part में first 3 basic sentences हमने study किए थे and we are revising them here. These are subject plus verb. Here the verb is intransitive. That means it does not take any kind of object, and without it, it conveys a complete meaning. Second is S+V+O, that is subject plus verb plus object. In this case, the verb is transitive verb. That means it takes an object to give a complete meaning. That means it requires an object. Third is subject plus verb plus complement. Dear students, if you remember, as we studied in the previous part, that this verb is linking verb. In linking verb, we have be verb forms and several other verbs which are verbs of sense and perception. If you don't remember, please revise the first part. Now we will study the rest 4 basic sentence patterns in this lesson. Dear students, इस लेसन में हम कुछ abbreviations का यूज़ करेंगे. So it's a good idea to know in the beginning that what are these abbreviations. Abbreviations means short form of a word. Like for the word subject, we will use S. For the word verb, we will use V. O stands for object. C stands for complement. A stands for adverbial or adjunct. DO stands for direct object. IO stands for indirect object. That means S indicates subject. V इंगित करता है verb को. O indicate कर रहा है object. And in the same way, C indicates complement. A indicates adverbial, or it's also called adjunct. Let's move further and take up the 4th basic sentence structure in English of this lesson. As you notice, it's written S plus V plus O plus O. The first object is defined as indirect object and the second one is the direct object. Please keep in your mind the abbreviations or shortened form that we have just seen in the previous slide. तो अगर हम इसे इलेबोरेट करें तो हम इस स्ट्रक्चर को इस तरीके से पढ़ेंगे. सब्जेक्ट प्लस वर्ब प्लस indirect object plus direct object. So this is the word order of the 4th basic sentence pattern. अब हम इस sentence pattern को एक example के थ्रू समझेंगे. The teacher gave us an assignment. In this sentence, the teacher is the subject. Gave, verb. Us, indirect object. An assignment, direct object. Please note down this sentence in your notebook and underline each word in this sentence and then try to identify. Remember, the order of the objects in this pattern may be like this. The teacher gave an assignment to us. In this sentence, the direct object comes before the indirect object, But there is a change also, and the change is that we use to preposition before the indirect object if we place it after the direct object. It means इस सेंटेंस पैटर्न में ऑब्जेक्ट्स का ऑर्डर चेंज हो सकता है, उनका क्रम बदल सकता है. How? In the first example, the indirect object comes before the direct object. In the second example, the teacher gave an assignment to us. The indirect object comes after the direct object. That means इस पैटर्न में direct object और indirect object का क्रम बदला जा सकता है, but then we need to use the preposition to. In this case, dear students, if you want to know what is a direct object and what is an indirect object, here is a quick note. Direct objects वो nouns और pronouns होते हैं जो कि उस action को receive कर रहे हैं, while the indirect objects are the nouns और pronouns जो कि उस action से प्रभावित हैं, affected हैं. इस प्रकार ये कहा जा सकता है कि indirect objects are the recipients of the direct objects. एक और छोटे से ट्रिक है कि direct object and indirect object को हम कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करें. There is a very simple way. First of all, find the verb. और ये चेक कीजिए कि क्या ये verb एक action verb है. If yes, then ask who or what. इसका जो आंसर होगा दैट इज द डायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट. आइए हम इसे इस एग्जाम्पल से समझें जो अभी हमने देखा है. द टीचर गेव अस एन असाइनमेंट. टीचर गेव व्हाट? इसका आंसर है एन असाइनमेंट. सो दिस इज द डायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट. नाउ हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई इनडायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट? नाउ आस्क टू whom और फॉर whom. एक्शन वर्ब से ये प्रश्न पूछिए, ये एक्शन किसके लिए है, टू whom और फॉर whom. जो वर्ड या वर्ड फ्रेजेस इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर होगा वो एक इनडायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट होगा. लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड इट विद द सेम एग्जाम्पल. द टीचर गेव अस एन असाइनमेंट. द टीचर गेव टू whom, फॉर whom. द आंसर इज अस. किसे दिया टीचर ने? हमें. So the word us is the indirect object. Let's proceed further and take up the fifth basic sentence pattern of this lesson. The word order of this sentence pattern, it follows thus: subject plus verb, that's transitive verb, plus object plus object complement. In short, it's called S+V+O. Before we take up the example to understand it, let's revise what is complement. Dear students, यहाँ आप complement word से confused ना हो. And mind the spelling of this complement which is used in English grammar. It's complement. And there is another word complement. That means the praise of someone, to appreciate someone, the words which you use to say for the appreciation. But here object complement is a word, usually a noun or an adjective that renames the direct object or states what it has become. It means object complement वो words हैं या word phrases हैं जो एक noun हो सकता है और या एक adjective हो सकता है और उनका function है object को rename करना और उनकी स्टेट या अवस्था के बारे में बताना. Now let's understand it with this example. He painted the wall white. In this sentence, he is the subject, painted is the action verb, the wall is the object, and white is the complement, and it's called object complement. To make it simpler, we can say an objective complement is a noun or adjective that completes the meaning of the verb and modifies, names or renames the direct object. In this sentence, the word white is a noun and it modifies the object, that's the wall, tells the state of the wall. At the same time, it completes the action verb painted. So, it's an object complement. Let's take up the next example. They elected him the president. In this sentence, they is the subject, elected is the action verb, him is the object, and the president is the object complement. Dear students, please pay your attention because I have seen many students being confused between complement and object. Please don't get confused with other sentence pattern. Now the question is how to identify object and complement. To understand it clearly, इसे अच्छी तरह समझने के लिए please revise the first part of this lesson. And I believe when we will do exercise, when we will do practice, it will be clearer. Most of the students ये mistake करते हैं कि वो SVOC और SVOO इन दोनों sentences को correctly identify नहीं कर सकते. So, watch this video till the end because we will do practice part and all your doubts will be wiped out. Well, let's revise quickly these 5 basic sentence structures. The first one is subject plus verb. In short, SV. The second one is subject plus verb plus object. In short, SVO. Third, subject plus verb plus indirect object plus direct object. SVIODO. Fourth, subject plus verb plus complement. Fifth is subject plus verb plus object plus complement. That's SVOC. Now we will see the basic sentence structure with the uses of adverbial or adjuncts. Here comes the 6th basic sentence pattern in English, and the word order of this sentence pattern follows thus: subject plus verb plus adverbial or adjunct. इस पैटर्न को आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए आपको एडवर्ब का मीनिंग और एडवर्ब आइडेंटिफाई करना आना चाहिए. So, let's know what's an adverbial. An adverbial is a word or phrase functioning as a major clause, constituent or typically expressing place, time or manner. और in the simplest terms, अगर हम simple words में कहें तो adverbials are words or word phrases that we use to give more information about a verb. Adverbial one word हो सकता है या एक phrase भी हो सकता है, and often they tell where, when or how. That means कहाँ. Adverbials हमें ये बताते हैं कि कोई घटना या कोई action कब, कहाँ और कैसे हुआ. जो words adverb का रोल प्ले करते हैं वो adverbials होते हैं. It can be one word or it can be a group of words that's called a phrase. Now the question is how to identify them. Just ask the question how, where and when, and the word that typically answers these questions is the adverbial or adjunct. अब हम इसे दिए गए examples के through समझते हैं. The first sentence is he came to the party. Obviously, he is the subject, came is the verb, to the party is the adverbial as it gives the information about the place of action. It plays the role of the adverb of place. Please listen carefully, क्योंकि most of the students यहाँ confuse होते हैं कि एक sentence में action verb के बाद use होने वाला word object है या adverbial है या complement है. Object and complement क्या होते हैं, कैसे हम इन्हें identify करें, ये हम इसी lesson में पहले पढ़ चुके हैं. Now let's understand what is an adverbial. The words which plays the function of adverb and they tell us about time, place and manner of the action. As in the second sentence, it rained last night. It subject, rained verb, last night as it tells us about time of action. So it's an adverb or adverbial. The next example is she sings melodiously. The word melodiously here tells us about the manner. She sings how melodiously. All the 3 adverbials tell us about place, time and manner. Dear students, Just note the interesting thing. This adverbial can be used with all these basic sentence patterns which we have already studied. For example, S+V+A, S+V+O.A, S+V+C.A, S+V+O.O.A, S+V+O.C.A. It means adverbials can be used with all these basic sentence structures, as most long sentences are just extended versions of one of these forms. Means कोई भी इंग्लिश सेंटेंस इन बेसिक सेंटेंस स्ट्रक्चर्स पर बेस्ड होते हैं और लॉन्गर सेंटेंसेस में इन्हीं एलिमेंट्स का एक्सटेंडेड फॉर्म यूज किया जाता है. Now we will see the final basic sentence pattern, that is subject plus verb plus object plus complement plus adverbial. Did you notice? इस sentence structure में all elements of a sentence use किए गए हैं. हाँ, एक बात समझना important है कि adverbial का use sentence की beginning में भी किया जा सकता है, but when we talk about basic sentence structure, we keep it in the end of a sentence. Let's explore it with examples. I lost my purse. I lost my purse with money. I lost my purse with money in the bus. These examples, notice that one element is being added. In the last sentence, I is the subject, lost is the verb, my purse is the object, with money is the complement, in the bus is the adverbial phrase, as it tells us about the place. Dear students, now let's practice. There are 15 sentences given on these two slides. Please identify the sentence patterns used in these sentences. You can pause the video and take your time. But don't forget to check your answers further in this lesson. I'll read out all these sentences for you. First, they are players. They made him the captain. The governor has sworn him chief minister yesterday. He closed the shop early. It is dark everywhere. The child fell asleep. They reached home late. I shall meet you at the railway station. We received the parcel. It rained last night. Her dreams have come true. He replied. She learnt music last year. They sold him pictures. She made a new dress yesterday. Let's discuss first 5 sentences here. They are players. In this sentence, they is subject, are is the linking verb, and players is the complement. Because the word player renames the subject, that's why it's a subject complement. Are is the form of the verb be, so it's a linking verb that links or connects complement with the subject. The second sentence is they made him the captain. They is the subject, made is the action verb, him is the object, the captain is object complement. The captain is a noun and it renames the object, that's why it's object complement. In the third sentence, the governor is the subject, has sworn is the verb, that is auxiliary and main verb. The word him is the object, chief minister is the complement, yesterday is the adverbial. In the fourth sentence, he closed the shop early. Your sentence pattern is S+V+O.A. And in the fifth one, it is dark everywhere. It is the subject, is the linking verb, dark is the complement, subject complement, and everywhere is the adverbial. Now I hope you must have understood all the basic sentence structures in English and how to use them in your writing. Thank you for watching. Happy learning.